On the morning of June 3rd, 2023, 32-year-old Korangi Apsara left her house with a clear promise. She was going out with some friends and would be back the next morning. It seemed like a normal plan, something her mother had no reason to doubt. They lived together in a small rented home in Venkat Colony, Sarur Nagar, Hyderabad, and Apsara often enjoyed spending time with her friends. But as June 4th turned into June 5th, something felt off. Apsara hadn't returned. At first, her mother thought maybe Apsara had just stayed out longer than planned, but with each passing hour, the worry grew stronger. The house felt strangely quiet, too quiet, as her mother's concern started to take over. She decided to call Apsara, hoping to hear her voice and feel reassured. But when she dialed the number, her heart dropped. The phone was turned off. With each failed call, her mother's worry grew deeper. The hours dragged on in a terrible silence. The fear that something awful had happened started to grow inside her. Feeling helpless, she reached out to a family friend, Ayag Venkat Surya Sai Krishna, someone she trusted. She told him everything, how Apsara had left but hadn't come back, and now her phone couldn't be reached. Her voice shook with fear, hoping Sai Krishna would have some idea of what to do. Sai Krishna, alarmed by the news, quickly tried calling Apsara too, hoping for a different result. But again, the phone was still off. At this point, they both knew something was very wrong. Sai Krishna took quick action and went to the local police station. It was there that the shocking truth about Korangi Apsara's disappearance began to come out. What exactly happened to Apsara? Where did she disappear? Very soon, the shocking truth about 32-year-old Korangi Apsara will be uncovered. This story takes us to Hyderabad, where Korangi Apsara suddenly goes missing. Her worried mother reaches out to a family friend, Ayagi Venkat Surya Sai Krishna, and tells him everything. Sai Krishna, a man around 36 or 37 years old, is highly educated with an MBA degree. He works as a contractor, but also serves as a priest in a local temple. On the morning of June 5, 2023, Sai Krishna goes to Rajiv Gandhi International Airport Police Station in Hyderabad. He is dressed in his priestly clothes, which gives him a calm yet serious appearance. He goes to the police station to file a missing persons report for his niece, Korangi Apsara. He explains to the police that both his sister and niece live together in Sarur Nagar. He tells them that on the evening of June 3rd, Apsara had plans to meet friends in the Shamshabad area. After that, she planned to travel with them to Bhadrachalam. Sai Krishna adds more details, saying, "That evening, I personally drove Apsara to Shamshabad in my car. From there, she was supposed to catch a bus to Bhadrachalam. However, things did not go as planned." With a worried tone, Sai Krishna shares what happened next. "Today, I received a call from my sister. She told me Apsara never made it back home, nor did she reach Bhadrachalam. Worse, her phone is now switched off." 32-year-old Korangi Apsara is described as attractive, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall. Sai Krishna hands over her photo to the police. With the details he provides, the police officially register a missing person report for Apsara and start investigating the case. Since Sai Krishna was the last person to see Apsara, they begin by questioning him. Although he was the one who reported her missing, the police still needed his full statement to make sure no important detail was overlooked. Afterward, the police conduct a thorough interview with Sai Krishna. In his statement, Sai Krishna repeats what he had told them earlier, that on the evening of June 3rd, he picked Apsara up from her home. She had plans to travel to Bhadrachalam with friends, so he dropped her off in Shamshabad, where she was supposed to catch a bus. During the questioning, the police didn't uncover any new information from Sai Krishna, as he simply repeated what he had already stated in his initial complaint. His statement mirrored the details he had provided earlier, offering no fresh insights for the investigation. Following this, the police turned their attention to questioning Apsara's mother. Like Sai Krishna, Apsara's mother also shared almost identical information, further confirming the same sequence of events. With the combined details from Sai Krishna and Apsara's mother, the police decided to thoroughly examine the CCTV footage from the Sarur Nagar area, where Apsara had been living with her mother. Since Apsara was last seen traveling from Sarur Nagar to Shamshabad, the police extended their review to cover all the CCTV cameras along the route between these two locations. After carefully analyzing the footage, the police confirmed that Sai Krishna's version of events, that he had arrived in his car with Apsara, was indeed supported by the CCTV evidence. Shamshabad is around 21 kilometers away from Sarur Nagar. As the police carefully reviewed the CCTV footage, they noticed something unusual. While the footage clearly shows Sai Krishna picking up Apsara in his car from Sarur Nagar, but there is no footage showing Apsara getting out of the car in Shamshabad. No images or clips from the cameras in that area show Apsara leaving the car. This puzzled the police because, according to Sai Krishna, he had dropped her off in Shamshabad after picking her up. The footage confirmed them leaving together, but there was no evidence of anyone being dropped off in Shamshabad. This raised doubts for the police, and they began to suspect that Sai Krishna might not be telling the truth. The lack of footage made the police question his statement, leading them to dig deeper into his background. Sai Krishna, who also lived in Sarur Nagar, worked as a priest in a temple. Although he was married and had 2 children, his family lived in the village, while he lived alone in Sarur Nagar. When the police reviewed the CCTV footage near Sai Krishna's home in Sarur Nagar, they made a surprising discovery. Shortly after picking up Apsara, he was seen returning to his house in the same car. The timing of his movements didn't align with the story he had told the police. This revealed that Sai Krishna never went to Shamshabad that day, as he had claimed. With this new evidence from the footage, the police called Sai Krishna back in for another round of questioning. This time, his statements were inconsistent, and he kept changing his story. Confronted with the clear evidence, the police pressed him harder, and eventually, Sai Krishna couldn't keep up his lies. Realizing that he had been caught, he finally confessed and began telling the truth. Sai Krishna confessed that Apsara was no longer alive and that he had killed her. But the big question remained: why did a Yagi Sai Krishna murder Apsara, and why did he file the missing person report afterward? There were many unanswered questions, and Sai Krishna had to explain everything. Finally, he revealed the full story of Korangi Apsara to the police. If you've watched this far, please help us reach 1,000 likes. Thank you. Korangi Apsara was originally from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. She was married to a software engineer named Karthik Raja. However, sometime after their marriage, Karthik Raja tragically took his own life. There is a heartbreaking story behind his suicide, for which Korangi Apsara was partly responsible, something I will reveal at the end. After the tragedy, Apsara decided to leave Coimbatore in 2022 and move to Hyderabad. She began living with her mother in a rented house in Venkat Colony, Sarur Nagar. Apsara had to take on several private jobs to support their household, but deep down, she longed to work in films and TV shows. Unfortunately, she wasn't very well known in Hyderabad, which made it difficult for her to pursue her dreams. In Sarur Nagar, there was a temple that Apsara often visited. It became a place of comfort and solace for her. During her trips to the temple, she met Ayagi Sai Krishna, the priest who worked there. Apsara would sometimes visit the temple with her mother, and through these visits, Sai Krishna developed a friendly bond with Apsara's mother, referring to her as his sister. This connection made Apsara feel more at ease with Sai Krishna, and she started calling him Anna, which means elder brother in Tamil. As Apsara continued to visit the temple, her bond with Sai Krishna grew stronger, and before long, their friendship blossomed into love. They began to spend more time together, going out frequently, and their relationship deepened over the course of a few months. After about 8 to 10 months of being together, Apsara decided to take a big step and asked Sai Krishna to marry her, believing he would gladly accept her as his wife. However, Sai Krishna had a secret. He was already married. Despite knowing that Sai Krishna had a wife and 2 children, Apsara still wanted to be with him. For a while, Sai Krishna kept putting off her proposal, but eventually, Apsara started to pressure him. She threatened that if he didn't marry her, she would tell his family everything about their relationship and ruin his reputation on social media. Apsara began to blackmail Sai Krishna, insisting that he must marry her. Feeling the weight of her threats, Sai Krishna grew anxious. He tried to talk sense into her several times, but Apsara remained stubborn and insisted on marrying him as soon as possible. Their arguments became more frequent and intense over this issue, leaving Sai Krishna desperate for a solution. In his mind, he started to think of ways to free himself from her grasp and the trouble she was causing in his life. On June 3, 2023, Sai Krishna suggested to Apsara that they go for a long drive to talk about their situation, hoping to find a solution. Apsara agreed. She told her mother she was going to Bhadrachalam with friends and that they would meet her in Shamshabad. She mentioned that Anna, the priest Sai Krishna, would drive her to Shamshabad in his car. On that day, Sai Krishna picked Apsara up from her house and they started heading toward Shamshabad. But instead of taking Apsara there, Sai Krishna kept driving around. As the night went on, Apsara started to feel sleepy. Late at night, before they reached Shamshabad, Sai Krishna stopped the car at a lonely place. When the car stopped, Apsara woke up. Sai Krishna said, "I've thought about it, and I don't want to marry you. You can do what you wish, but we will not be getting married." When Apsara heard this, she and Sai Krishna started to argue again. During the fight, he pushed her hard, and she fell to the ground. He had already put 2 heavy stones in his car beforehand. He picked up one of the stones and hit Apsara on the head with all his strength. The impact caused a serious injury, and she began to bleed. Apsara lost consciousness, and this is how Sai Krishna killed her. Afterward, he put Apsara's body in the trunk of his car and drove back home. Meanwhile, Apsara's mother called him, asking why Apsara hadn't come home yet. Sai Krishna then went to Apsara's house, and together with her mother, they went to the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport police station to file a missing persons report. When he went to the police station, Apsara's body was still in his car. After filing the report, he returned home. After getting home, Sai Krishna began searching for a place to hide Apsara's body. He found a manhole in a deserted area behind a government office building near the temple. He took the body out of his car and dropped it into the manhole, then cleaned his car. The next day, Sai Krishna went back to the manhole and noticed a terrible smell coming from it. Worried that someone might open the manhole cover if the smell got worse, he ordered 2 truckloads of black soil. He sealed the edges of the manhole cover with cement and concrete, and then covered it completely with soil to keep the smell from escaping. After that, Sai Krishna pretended to search for Apsara, even joining her mother in the search to avoid raising suspicion. However, the police caught him through CCTV footage. While in police custody, Sai Krishna repeatedly threatened to kill himself, insisting he never meant to harm Apsara. He claimed she had been blackmailing him, and out of fear, he acted as he did. Despite his claims, Sai Krishna was eventually sent to prison. While Apsara's murder case grabbed headlines in the newspapers and spread across social media, another story connected to her began to unfold. A while back, Apsara and her mother had been living in Chennai when they met a young software engineer named Karthik. Apsara was beautiful, and it didn't take long for Karthik to fall in love with her. Their romance blossomed, and soon they got married. After the wedding, Apsara moved in with Karthik and his mother at their home in Coimbatore. However, not long after their marriage, things began to change. Apsara started to trouble Karthik and his mother with her demands. She dreamed of a luxurious life filled with fancy dinners, beautiful jewelry, and stylish clothes. To keep up with Apsara's desires, Karthik stretched his finances. He not only relied on his salary, but also took out loans to cover their expenses. Unfortunately, this constant pressure led to frequent arguments between them. According to some reports, the situation worsened when Apsara's in-laws accused her of filing a dowry harassment and domestic violence case against Karthik. This serious accusation resulted in Karthik's imprisonment, turning their lives upside down. Feeling trapped and desperate, Apsara and her mother secretly left Chennai one night, moving to Hyderabad without telling anyone. About a month and a half later, Karthik was finally released on bail, but the damage was done. He had lost his job while behind bars and found himself in a deep state of despair. His mother tried to lift his spirits, encouraging him to look forward to a better future, but Karthik was too broken to see any hope. The trauma of the last few months weighed heavily on him. Just 4 days after he was released from jail, in a moment of unbearable pain, Karthik took his own life himself. This is the complete story of the Korangi Apsara murder case. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to stay updated with us. We'll be back soon with a new story. Thank you.